Welcome back to the Truth Channel, Inspired. This week we're on the other half of my room. That way is what you usually see, and this way is what you don't see. Sorry if you're on the podcast, you can't hear this, but yeah, welcome to this side of my room. This week I'm just gonna kind of talk about where I'm at in life, and I try to kind of break it up every couple weeks or so with like a story or something. So I'm just going to tell you the story of my life today, where I'm at right now, what's next, things like that. And I don't have my mic, so I'm using my phone. So sorry if this is weird, but that's got to do what you got to do for the sound quality, right? So I'm going to be honest, the last month, guys, has been probably one of the most challenging months of my life. Just emotionally, physically, like I feel like I was just like lacking in all areas of life, like mentally, spiritually, physically. Let me just give you an insight to what was going on. So I'm home. I've been home for about 6 months, coming from my Bible school, and then now got through all winter. It was fine. Home is always hard for some reason. Actually, I know the reason. Home is hard because I've gone away to these Bible schools and honestly, like genuine transformation. And then you come home, and I've changed a lot. And then I come home to people and places that expect me to be who I was before. And also, it's like I'm tempted to just fall into the old habits of what life looks like at home, you know? And so I've been trying to be super diligent about restarting new habits and making my life look different when I'm at home. So now that summer's come, summer always looks different. It just particularly this summer has been a bit more challenging. So I'm in school at my local community college getting my gen eds done. And so I have 4 classes, actually 3. I just dropped one. I have 3 classes this semester. So I have that. And then I'm also a real estate photographer on the side. So if you guys are wondering how I make money, that's it. I take pictures of houses. And that schedule is just, I kind of make it on my own as shoots come, whatever. Super laid back. I love it. I also run the channel. And then I also was this past month in the process of applying, enrolling to college in Florida. So that's the latest update I guess I have for you guys on my life, is that I will be attending Southeastern University in Florida, studying organizational leadership with a minor in church music. But that decision was like such a long process, and it was so stressful. And that kind of played into how this whole month kind of has just been draining. So I have that. And then on top of that, I was also this past month sick. I don't know with what. And then because of that, I was just like tired all the time. So I have all of these responsibilities that I feel like I need to do, and then I get sick. And not only that, but I don't know if you guys noticed, I took a 2-week break from the channel, and this was intended to be 2 weeks where I could get ahead of myself. So basically, the pattern I have had going in the past is like, I film a video, I edit it that week, I release it that week. And I was talking with one of my friends who also does similar YouTube stuff, and he was like, you need to stop treading water. You need to get ahead of yourself so that you're not so stressed and so pressured with time, you know? And I was like, that's such a good idea. He's like, you can afford to take 2 weeks off to simply get ahead of yourself. So now in the last 2 weeks, I had a lot of pressure on myself to produce and to write. And there's a lot that goes in behind the scenes to the channel. I have to, do my research, write it's basically like writing an informational speech every single week. But I wanted to create 10 episodes. I wanted to batch create 10 episodes. You're getting a little insight of like what it takes to do this. So that was my goal. And I got some of it done, but this is also part of why this time has just been so stressful, is because, I'm trying to keep up with my school, trying to keep up with work, and then this college is emailing me like, you got to enroll if you want to come. You need to do this. You need to pay this deposit. I'm like, I don't even know if I'm coming. So I need to decide this week if I'm coming, and I need to enroll in classes, and I need to do this and all this stuff. And then also I need to write 10 scripts for 10 videos that I need to also film. And then I get like hit with this like headache, just tired all the time, super just like, it just wiped me out. And oh my goodness, you guys, I was so stressed. And so I actually was in bed a lot of the times, and then I felt even more pressure because I wasn't producing anything and I had to keep up on my work, so I was just barely keeping up with school. Mentally as well, like mentally, my thoughts were just very dark. And honestly, this is how I get through this stuff, is to remind myself and to come back to God. And each time I sat with God, it was just like peace and still. And I was like, it's okay. And so that is kind of what kept me sane during this time, is like realizing even if I don't produce 10 truth channels, there's grace. God has grace, and he's not disappointed because I didn't make 10. You know, those are standards I set for myself. But then I was also battling myself of like every day I didn't get up and do something or film, I'd be like, shame, like, oh, Lindsay, like literally you're never gonna get anything done. How are you supposed to run a channel if you don't even care? You need to put more work in. You know, I was just there was so much negative talk going on towards myself. And then physically, I also wasn't feeling good. So I lost 15 pounds over the last 2 weeks. Like it was not good. And I didn't really realize it either until the end, until like coming down from it. And so now I would say like, I'm finally like, we made it through. But now I see like how negative everything was that was going on, is like, and how tough it really was. I wasn't giving myself any credit. I was like, you're being a wimp, you know, like get up, go. Like you're not this tired. You just take some Advil, you know, and I really wasn't giving myself that time to rest. And I didn't want to rest. I hate resting. Like I literally hate taking a day off. It takes so much. Like I think I would have to be like puking with a fever and like double ear infection in order to be like, yeah, I'm staying home from school, you know, and that's horrible. But I think that it really taught me like I need to allow myself time to rest. And I would say that for anyone out there is like, we need to rest. We need to take a day off if we're not feeling good. And we need to have grace with ourselves because God has grace with us. And so now I think God's just kind of teaching me about like discipline, because now that I've kind of set a month worth of just like being really lazy and laying in bed and like basically just aligning with my feelings, and sometimes I did use like, oh, I don't feel good as an excuse to cop out. But other times it really was like, I'm exhausted. I have a horrible headache. I'm going to lay down, or I can't do anything. But I did also come into the habit of just like making excuses and pushing things off and not being dependable. And so coming out of this season, I'm really trying now to be diligent in my time and, sticking to, you know, making a routine for myself. Like, guys, I got up and went to the gym for the first time in probably 2 months. So that's an accomplishment. And I've also been getting up earlier. Guys, I was getting up at like noon, maybe 1 o'clock. And now, you know, 7 a.m., my alarm goes off. And then I usually get up at like 8:30, you know, not that bad. But having grace with myself, you know, like, gotta make the routine first. Like, I'm not gonna expect myself to be perfect right off the bat. And so God's just teaching me a lot about discipline, and kind of like I talked about last week, like he's going to bless the work. God doesn't want to just bless us. I mean, he will bless us, but also, you know, I can't just be like, yeah, I'm going to film this YouTube channel, put no work into it, do basically the minimal I can do. Please bless it, God. You know, like he wants to bless the work that we do. And he promises that we will reap what we sow. That is something that I'm stepping into, and it sucks to wake up at 7 a.m. It does. You know, the gym, nobody likes to go to the gym. That's a discipline in itself. But also just being disciplined and doing what I say. And it's a journey for sure, but I'm learning, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, is to be more disciplined, but also to have grace with myself again, because I'm not going to be perfect. And if I set these expectations of, Lindsay, you have to go to the gym every single day, and if you don't, you failed, you know, that's not going to be helpful. It's like, it's okay, Lindsay, start again tomorrow, start again tonight, start again, you know, like having grace with myself, because like I said, God has grace with me. And so that's me right now. That's where I'm at. And I'm also preparing to leave for school now. I leave in August. At the moment, I'm like definitely planning on continuing the Truth Channel onwards. I think it might be a little bit more difficult to do in college. I hope my roommate is like not totally annoyed with me, but it is something I'm passionate about, seeing truth, you know, brought to these media platforms. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And I just want to encourage you guys that there's fruit in discipline. Discipline is a good thing. It's a healthy thing to have discipline and to take time to reflect and give yourself rest. And, you know, I try to set aside like an hour in the morning at least for myself to, you know, eat a proper breakfast. Guys, I was not eating enough during this time. So I'm working on, you know, my eating habits. Usually what happens when I'm not eating is like I forget to eat. I genuinely forget. Like yesterday I went to a coffee shop and I was like, frick, I forgot to eat lunch and I'm planning on being here till 4. So I literally got up after sitting there for 10 minutes, got up, drove all the way home, ate, and came back, because that is how much I'm trying to value just everything in my life. You know, my body physically. I found that I get way more done in a day when I go to the gym. Spiritually, like when I'm connected with God, like that is that is when I'm just like, everything else is just like clarity. And then mentally also, when I'm aligned spiritually, mentally, my thoughts aren't as, like I can determine, hey, is this a thought? Is this thought edifying to me? Is this helpful for me? Okay, let's align myself with what God says about this subject. And so I don't even know what I was saying before that, but yeah, discipline is good. An hour or so in the morning to yourself, I would encourage everyone to do, and to really focus on all three aspects, body, mind, soul. They're all real. They're all important. And to not neglect one or the other. I think the past month I neglected all three, and it was very, very hard. And then I also had to make a lot of important decisions in the midst of all that neglect. And so it was just super stressful, but coming out stronger, more disciplined, and I'm excited to see where this goes. So yeah, that's a little update on my life. I hope you guys are encouraged to be disciplined as well. That's how you make progress. And have grace on yourself, because that's important as well. We're not going to be perfect. Don't set an expectation of yourself for perfection. That's something I struggle with. I'm a perfectionist to the T, perfectionist. And, it's healthy in some ways, but it's also not. So that's something I'm learning as well. God doesn't expect us to be perfect, and there's grace. So that's all. There'll be more next week, of course. And I am a little bit ahead of myself, so it won't be as stressful anymore. But that's all. See ya.